Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Lauracrapo. This is my dog. My dog, usually my dog is with me, Dr. Disco, but this is Heaven. Heaven normally is not in these videos, and it's nice to have him here for support. And anyway, so I'm going to do a video about Bradley Cooper. And I was going to do a video about the city of Paris, but I just feel like people, I don't know, it's like a hot topic, the Olympics and everything. But anyway, I'll do that later. But for now, I'll do Bradley Cooper's reading. All right. I don't know if he had like a really strong, like perhaps like ill-tempered dad or like masculine person, big strong masculine person in his life. That's the first thing I pick up. I feel like he had like an aunt or a younger grandmother or something who, when they spoke or described something, it was like a bit all over the place or convoluted, and it's just like maybe that was a bit of a brain gym for him, like growing up, like taught him to think about things from various perspectives to create some sort of tolerance for excuse me, what are you doing? Different points of view or ways of seeing. Okay, I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting like this mom energy that was stressed out. And I mean, if there was like a strong and potentially ill-tempered masculine in the picture, then yeah, that would cause his mom stress. It was kind of like, you know how they say like, whether it's true or not, like guys want to try to fix things, but like I felt like it wasn't something that he could fix. And then perhaps getting some like bad advice as a result of that, like overly defensive or like, what haven't you done? Which would, of course, like make him a very sensitive and knowledgeable actor in terms of like different characters and stuff and ways of coping and ways of behaving and stuff. So, okay. But like it would be a tough training ground, but if he's able to make something good from that, that's great. I feel like he may have received like some discouraging comments growing up, like not like full on bullying, but like it wasn't, let's say it wasn't a dreamer's paradise, with tons of support. That way it feels like mostly feels like from people his own age who would be saying stuff like that. And I feel like possibly his dad was sort of do it, they hands off in terms of what he chose to do. And I feel like his mom was like in her own energy, like concerned about her own stuff, maybe. You know how some parents like make the child sort of be their quasi partner in terms of like taking on responsibilities for like reversing the roles, like the mom's more childlike and the child has to like take care of them. So that's just the vibe I'm getting. So it seems like there's a bunch of disagreeable people around him growing up. Or anyway, I'm picking up this another female energy that feels like very critical. Like, who's this person? Maybe it was just someone in the community or someone close to the family who had access to them or felt like they could criticize or just like unnecessarily harsh older female, like really too much. I don't know if there was like yelling or it just feels like really over the top. And I kind of feel like the same energy kind of exists in his current professional life where there's a lot of like critics or discord or like just like it's not all like peaches and cream out there. It feels like, and I feel like he's found a way to exist despite everybody, and like he sort of understands that the rumblings of various people are just a thing that is part of life, and you have to just sort of get through and do what you need to do and do what you want to do, even though there's all this chatter and like negativity, like just to say it broadly, whether it's like slander or like just people who have, when they don't have their own project, they make you their project, so it's like like gossip magazines and stuff, like the people that work there like need to get a life, right? Like do something greater with their time. Like I know I'm doing this reading, which you could say is like reporting on someone, but like I tend to try to look for things that are like common themes for everybody and also like helpful advice. I don't it's not like a trash talk channel. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he has like one or two sort of difficult people still in his like close personal life. It could be like frenemies, it could be like a relationship he's in, like romantic, or let me just have a look at that. If he is in a romantic relationship, it feels like they live relatively separate lives, and that could be just due to their busy schedules. Then they're not like working in the same place all the time, and that okay, he left. Like I don't know if he dates people who are like really good friends, and like more so than like someone that you felt a calling for, like who's like vastly different than you, and like how did this happen? Somehow fell in love, like total uh lightning bolt from above kind of thing. But so it feels like he is with someone who's very good friends with and they have good banter, but they might not be like the kind of like Disney surprise couple of like, how did this even happen? Like, uh, And that might be like a defensive move on his part to um, carefully select like someone for his for a partnership like that. Okay, I'll just go look at the energy again, so I'm not like just rambling. There's I'm feeling, is he a bit of a gourmet? Like I just feel like he really wishes his meals could be like always amazing. So I don't know if that's like working on set, being disgruntled that way, or if like just food at home situation is could be better. I don't know if someone's tasked with cooking or if he's cooking for himself, like he wishes it would be better. Like there's something like there's some complaint internally he has about like when he's eating. Is he like forcing himself on a diet to for a role or something? Anyway, there's some complaint like that. I feel, I feel like maybe he likes silence. Like I don't really see him as a big dog person or a big pet person necessarily. Like because there's an element of like the noise or the it can cause him some stress. Like or maybe he would like to keep fish. um, you know, like some people have pets and they still get annoyed by barking and stuff. There's just I feel like a sensitivity to that type of noise where he just really values his peaceful moments. I think he really appreciates it when he can say something like very clearly and it's understood by someone like in a very efficient manner. There might be a lot of like unnecessary chatter back and forth, like professional emails and like things like that. So like he might be someone who really tries to funnel all his communication through an agent or a manager or something. So it's just like you have like one or two phone calls a day rather than like 15 or 30. I feel like some people have hurt his feelings a lot along the way, like in his professional life. But you kind of like acting involves often other people. And other people you have to be in close quarters with for months at a time. Even like, you know, of course, pretend relationships, which seem to me to be like the same as real ones. Um, so you just gotta like make do, like you gotta like survive through that. Even though like someone might be attractive or funny, like it still might be a lot to deal. That person might be a lot to deal with. I feel like he doesn't like the sort of pressure to represent like other people's brands or like other, you know, like there's elements of that in being an actor. There's a sort of like funny left turn that's happening in the reading right now. Like it's like it's sort of this feeling of having like another property, like I don't know, in Texas or something, like a sort of a getaway or like, but there's some funny energy around it. I think it's just like a loss of privacy thing. Like wherever he goes, like people, even if it's, just going to the hardware store, like, whoever you would meet in normal life that you can't escape, like having that contact, like, you know, uh, there's this extra pressure more than a regular person would have to like let that person in your life or have it be like, like a big thing, like loss of privacy is a big deal. It feels like he's good. He's like, if you were to meet him, I feel like it would go fine and it would seem casual and like normal. But it would be better if people gave him some space. Like if you're like, let's say you're a fan of his and you see him, if you think in a more spiritual, it's like, well, we're all connected, so I don't really need to talk to him, like let him have some space, and it doesn't diminish the encounter, like I feel like some people can be like overly forceful, almost like stalkerish, or to the point where they like lose uh, control of themselves. Um, that can be kind of scary. But it feels like he walks like a really fine line, like through life. Like, well, I gotta live my life. I can't just like hide out from everyone. But you know, he hopes to be like efficient and get through it and have it still be pleasant, but like without having to do the most in terms of fans and like talking to them. Because it's a lot. Like if you're as well known as him, and if people like him, like it's a lot. Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like if it's like in Texas, or I don't know, like you know, if we're if the general GPS is like in LA, like it feels kind of like it would be around there. Like the vibe I'm getting is like kind of Texas, or I don't know if it's like around Austin or around like nearish the Gulf. Um, it just doesn't it's okay, but it doesn't feel like a forever like retirement home, because like I just feel like things will get kind of crazy in that region a little bit. Whether it's rising water or if it's like people stuff, turmoil things. It just doesn't feel like a real long-term safe haven. Like I would sell it and move in before 8 years is up. And like I've one recommendation that comes up would be like on a Greek island. Sorry, my eyes tear up. I'm not crying, but my eyes tear up just from being alive. Okay. So, okay, Bradley Cooper. Like, what is? I just keep getting this like frenemy vibes. Like, is he too trusting? Like, does he not, uh, like, what's it called? Yeah, like, I feel like he needs to assess more closely, like, the people in his close circle. Yeah, like, there's definitely like one or two or three people close to him that I don't feel good about in terms of his well-being. Like, if he's someone that has like an entourage, I would maybe like not do that. Yeah, I would say to him, like, you don't owe anybody anything. Like, if you're just being like a nice guy and you're not causing problems, like, that's your gift to the world. And you don't have to take all your buddies on every vacation or whatever. I would love for this feeling of like all these people infringing and being argumentative or critical around him. Like, I'm trying to find like a space where those people can't bother him. I don't know. It's like, are there good places to like live in, like Virginia or something? Like, it'd be like good weather, I guess. Like, I have some cousins around there. It's like beachy and stuff, right? So I don't know. It might be like far enough away from the, you know, big cities and stuff to find some peace. I don't know. I don't really know much about him. I did see what was that movie? Um like what was it? It's playing like a painter or intellectual or something or anyway, I saw that one. But yeah, I'm getting like Virginia. Like my grandfather had a place in North Carolina in the hills that was really nice. So I don't know, like around that, but I get more like Virginia. I guess Virginia and North Carolina are neighbors, but feels good. Feels peaceful. Like fewer people would like come around, you know. Okay. Like, why does he have all this like turmoil coming up against him? Okay, I'm trying to find like a peaceful path through all that. Like, would he direct or like act in something like in Australia or like like somewhere far from the U.S.? Um, that would be like a more peaceful place to like do the project, or maybe he likes Australia. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just gonna close out the reading with like I feel like he needs to be very clear to people. Like this is my partner, or if he's single, it's like this is like be very clear about his boundaries, and that includes like people he's working with or paired up with in movies and stuff. Like very clear boundaries from like the gate, because like I imagine like that some actors or actresses are like crave being desired or like being seen, or like why would they be actors otherwise? But like but for them to know like you don't have to conquer me, like that's not part of our agreement here. Like my peace, my like silence, and like my mental space that requires like some not talking and not like becoming like best friends, like it's work. Like being an actor professionally is like your office, and you don't want like a lot of stuff, a lot of drama going on in your workplace. So I just feel like he needs to be very clear about like his boundaries, Otherwise, there's like it just takes up. It's like stressful and sometimes painful, and like even though some people might be like attractive and like it's easy to like get caught up in that because like I'm sure some of the people he's paired with are like considered conventionally attractive, but like there's a lot to be said for resisting that and just focusing on the project at hand and like being very clear about like why you're there and stuff. I don't know if I'm saying that exactly right in terms of what I'm picking up, but like boundaries and like preserving his peace is so important because I feel that he's been through a lot and people have like trampled on his personal space and his well-being kind of space. And if he's like after all that like a peaceful person and just being very determined on his career and then that shows his strength and that's to be commended and stuff instead of like lashing out or like being a negative reactive person. Yeah, I just want to like I don't know, is he in some kind of situation at the moment that's in turmoil? uh I think like if he is, then if the person really thinks that they love him, then they would give him space to like be good. you know? Like to love someone, you don't have to be in a relationship with them. You can just like love their happiness and them having being them. You don't have to like sometimes like being in a relationship with someone is like very like an imposition. So unless you're doing it in a non-toxic way that uh, lets people feel a sense of freedom, um, yeah, it's like yeah. So I would just say like he doesn't need to answer every question that's put to him, every challenge that's put to him. Like if someone's in a relationship or business or personal and they're being too heavy with him, like give him the time and space to breathe and like come up with his own answer in his own time without like trying to control it. That's yeah, because anyway. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and my information and stuff is in the thingy below. And please subscribe. And yeah, if you have a recommendation, feel free to put it in the comments or email. And take care. Bye.